Hello right bags, it's JPG, welcome to the game news. Today we're taking a look at Conan Exiles, some of the exciting stuff that's coming, as well as the Xbox launch. Also a bit of an apology from the creators of Osiris A New Dawn about their latest update. And in fact another dev's issuing a big apology. Subnautica on Xbox, where's the updates been for the last few weeks? Why have they been delayed? All the information about that right now. So as you can see in the background, the devs have been streaming a lot of new content for Conan Exiles. You saw in the little trailer there, as I was showing you, the climbing aspect. The climbing is really going to open things up massively. I really think this is what's going to transform this game. Alongside some of the other stuff like the thrall system, it really is going to make this game stand out from some of the other survival games around at the moment. This, what you see right now, is the first glimpse of the brand new biome, the Highlands or the Frozen North. Obviously there's still a bit of work to be done, it looks a bit grey and a bit muted right now, but this is the only start of it. There is loads more to this. It is making the map 50% bigger, so as well as the desert area, you will have this big snowy expanse with all these pine trees. It will have its own new creatures and some new resources as well, so it is pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it really fleshes out the world of Conan, because for many people Conan is definitely heavily based in cold northy areas, and you can see some of the new creatures. We've got wolves there as well. So the devs do these streams all the time, they always show them off what's going on. It's really cool to get a first glimpse of this. I was worried they weren't going to show anything until the actual launch. When is this coming? This is coming on 16th of August to Xbox One and the PC. Conan will be coming to the PS4, but not until obviously it's completed and finished in 2018. So Xbox, August the 16th. I can't wait for this, guys, to really get my teeth stuck into this. I enjoyed Conan a lot. I just needed a bit more content, and they are doing a hell of a lot more to it now. They're making it almost Skyrim-esque. They've got place markers now, so when you go into a new area it will light up and show you what the name of that area is. They've got mini-map markers as well, which I'm going to show you right now. So you can see here, that's the size of the new expansion that's coming to the actual map. And then if we take a look below, you can see some of the little place markers now. These are going to be locations. So just like the Skyrim map, when you open Skyrim, it lists where you've been and where you visited. It really adds something to it as well. Conan looks like it's really going to start trading heavily on this single player experience, I think. With things like this, it really does lend itself more to an open world survival game where you actually just play it on your own. But of course, there is a big element of multiplayer. The PvE side of things is incredibly huge, and it's getting more and more complex with the different bosses and the different things you can do in terms of having your character classes, whether or not you're going to be a sort of necromancer or typical barbarian. And this is probably one of the more exciting things, climbing. Like I told you earlier, it is coming, guys. It's in the update right now on PC, and it should be coming to console when it launches. You know, it's not, I would say it's the most graphically brilliant. It doesn't look like Assassin's Creed style-y, finding every little nook and hole. But for what it is, an open world survival game, to have something like this in it is going to be amazing. I think it will really switch PvP around. Can you imagine you sneaking into an enemy base, putting some explosives down on a door and blowing it up so your forces can come in? That's the kind of stuff I can imagine. There is going to be defenses for it. There's all sorts of things like tar jars that you can chuck over the edge. And I do believe it doesn't take too long to knock someone off. If you hit someone with a bow, I think they immediately fall. But I think it's a really cool mechanic. Obviously there's still a bit of work to be done. This was a few weeks ago, I think, this live stream, so hopefully they've iterated it a bit. And of course it's still got another 6 months before the game's actually due out, guys. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm excited to get back into Conan, definitely. Once it hits the Xbox, I'm definitely going to be picking up a copy and showing you guys. And before then, I'll also be giving you a heads up on what to expect in Conan and all the stuff they've been adding so far. Osiris launched last September, and to quite a critical, you know, a good reception considering. I didn't realise how small the team that is actually making it is. There's only 2 members at the start. Now they've got 7, which is incredibly small considering. So they've spent a good nearly 10 months actually making and developing the game. I think Osiris probably overreached when it first launched. It definitely had some really cool ideas, really cool features. The robots, the different types of terrain vehicles. I think it way and beyond probably exceeded what a lot of early access games would launch with. Since then, I've been playing around with experimentation, and some of it's guess kind of not really worked. They've just made a brand new class system, they've put in loads of new features, and they've also upgraded like the characters, what you can actually use in terms of being a marine or a ranger. Interesting stuff, really good stuff. They've even got a story for it as well now, so you go into this planet to find out what happened to the first exploration team. So it all sounds perfect, it all sounds good. However, it has been getting a pasting in actual Steam reviews at the moment. Overall, it's still quite good or mixed, but in the last month since the last update, it's just hands down, thumb down, thumb down, thumb down, thumb down. So developers Phoenix Fire, the lead creator, actually put a post out to the actual community. In this letter, the creator outlines exactly what they envisioned for the development of Osiris New Dawn. However, he has actually replied back to all the negative feedback since they've actually launched the latest update. Developers seem to be choosing what to do to make it either more eccentric on the single player experience or the survival element. When I first played it last year, the emphasis was in exploration. You started off with a robot companion as well as some weapons and items. They seem to have made the game increasingly more difficult since then, which is unusual until the end of development. As you've seen from games like Ark and other games, they generally add that sort of stuff towards the end to give it more of a challenge. And getting the balancing right on an early access game is pretty important. If the game is too hard, people just won't bother, even though, you know, they might like the game. Because it is early access, they might just feel that it's not going in the direction they want. However, some of the criticisms I've been reading have been really harsh. Like, it is only like 9 months in development, it's an incredibly small team. They are not hyping up anything by the imagination at all. They don't, you know, they're not constantly pushing out update videos or saying what they're doing this, what they're doing that. But they have acknowledged that this last update has really hit a bum note. So hopefully they're going to be going back to the drawing board a little bit, re-tinkering with the classes, and basically just making the game easier. After playing it with a good friend of mine the other day, we discovered it is just rock solid hard, and it's just overly hard. They've also changed some of the other features that made it a bit more interesting. So you don't start with a companion robot anymore, you have to grind and get the resources, and one of your first things you have to do is follow the small parts of the story. Well, I quite like the idea of just landing on the planet and having to figure out stuff for yourself. There are some really cool options. You can build smaller buildings made out of space junk and enemy bits and bobs, but the amount of enemies comparatively compared to what you can utilise to take care of them is absolutely minimal. So hopefully they will be dialing back down the difficulty of it, and they'll be making some of the classes more unique and really have better uses for some of their skill trees. It does seem like it's a bit of a long time to still be, you know, maybe experimenting. Maybe they should have knuckled down exactly what these core elements of the game were. But as I said earlier, I think they probably outdone themselves when they launched. The game looked really good, like really good looking. It's still a fantastic game now. And the enemies in it and the big massive sand creature that is in the game as well was unique, and I just liked the idea of it. It just definitely needed a lot more content. And within a few months they already added another planet. They still have plans for adding and making the galaxy a bit larger. You will be able to go around and visit a fair few planets, but hopefully they're going to bring it back a bit, dial it back down, and concentrate just on the first planet you start on. There is things like space stations in it. There's a multitude, as you saw from the trailer, of space or, you know, exploration vehicles. So I hope that they can get back to that stuff, because again, that was some of the stuff that made it really unique. The vehicles were really cool to drive around. They may have been a little bit buggy, but it was definitely something interesting in the game. So I hope they get it right. I hope the balance is there. It is meant to be coming to Xbox One. It was announced over Christmas last year that they would be bringing it to Xbox One in early access. So I hope this negative impact doesn't filter through to any development on the Xbox One early access version. And if I get any more information about when that actually might happen, I will let you guys know. I'm still going to play it a little bit. I'm going to tackle it one more time. Maybe do another collab if I can. But I might just wait until they've updated it a tiny bit and just made the game a little bit easier. And another apology from a game dev. If only they all acted like this. Subnautica on Xbox One has not been updated in our next set to be long time. We're painfully aware of this fact and working hard to resume updates as soon as possible. Previously we discussed the reason for delays and made reference to the bug. This bug was a major hurdle stopping us from updating Subnautica on Xbox One. We can now say with great relief that the bug is dead. We have Subnautica's latest updates, Silent Running and Voice of the Deep, running on our Xbox One development machines. So if you don't know that isn't that far behind. I think they're being really harsh on themselves again. I was actually praising them for actually always having Xbox updates more or less in tune with the PC. And while these two updates are quite major updates, they are. The Voice of the Deep only came out about 10 days ago, 9 days ago, and Silent Running came out about 5 weeks ago, so I guess that is quite a while. So apparently they've got rid of the major bug, but they're still dealing with issues. The latest updates cause a problem specifically on Xbox One, so it looks like hopefully that will be resolved. They have acknowledged that the performance of the game on Xbox One is not adequate, and I can testify to that fact. Trying to do a let's play on it and having the game stutter and shutter because of the FPS and the frame rates just weren't really hitting is a big no-no. And again, although it is an early access game has been developed for quite a while now, and it really did detract from the enjoyment of the game where it just kept shuttering for me. Not everyone might have that problem, but certainly for me it was one of the reasons I stopped doing my season on it. So they've said that might even make it worse, the latest update, so they are doing their best to make sure the performance is there before they update it. And of course, as is the norm lately, when games like PC games come to console, the benefits are actually benefiting the PC. With all the performance saves they have to make to get it onto an Xbox or a PS4, that then transforms over onto the PC version. There's no ETA on any of this stuff, so don't expect it to drop in the next week, maybe 2, maybe even 3 weeks. But the next update will both have the Silent Running and the Voice of the Deep. The Silent Running makes a bunch of changes to how you use your underwater ships, and the Voice of the Deep adds, I think, one of the final sort of sections, the boss fights, as well as another host of locations to explore and things to do. So there we go guys, another game news done and dusted. If there's a game you would like me to cover, if there's something emerging or in early access that you'd like me to take a look at or follow the development of, leave the comments down below and I'll try and check it out. I am JPlaysGames. I will catch you ratbags for another game news very soon. Bye bye.